What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Reprising podcast. This is your host, Cristopher Zamora. Welcome to the show. So today, guys, I would like to speak to you about the new Mummy movie that's gonna come out in the year, I believe, 2028. And guess what? The original two actors, the one that came out in the year 1999, they are reprising their roles and they are coming back into the film. The Mummy 4 will be released on May 19, 2028. Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz or Rachel Weisz will officially reprise their roles. That's dope, man. That's awesome that the Mummy is getting a new movie. And they're actually keeping the same actors. They are going to be a little bit older, but they are coming back though. Kind of sucks that Rachel Weisz, well, the lady that came on the 1999 movie and the second one, she didn't came on the third movie because I think she was pregnant at the time and she wasn't able to do the stunts. And so they actually got somebody else to play her role. That's a good thing, man. That's a good thing that now she is coming back to this franchise. I believe they are going to continue on with this franchise. They're probably going to make another two more films probably, and probably O'Connell's son, he probably might take the reign right after maybe he actually retires. Yeah, Alex, I think that was the character's name. That would be dope, man. That would be dope if they actually continue this franchise. They have used the same mummy twice, and let's see how this goes, man. I'm actually excited for this franchise. Like, I remember watching the very first one. It was scary. It was creepy. And there was also a ride back then in Universal Studios. If you guys know the one for Florida. Man, I remember going to that ride the very first time. It was the very first ride, and I came out crying. Yeah, that ride was just so loud and it was just so fast too. Damn, I remember going. And now, when I went back over there just last year around December time, I went back to Florida. We went to Disney World and also the Universal Studio parks. We went to the ones over there in Florida, and I faced my fear again. I faced my fear of actually going on that ride, and yep, I wasn't afraid anymore. But yeah, The Mummy is getting another movie, which is good, man. I can't wait. I can't wait to actually see it once again. These characters, actually Brendan Fraser, just him coming back. That's awesome. The last movie I have saw, the one that he came out on was called The Whale. I believe that one came out, I think, maybe like 2 to 3 years ago. But yeah, it was a good movie. It was actually a good movie that he came out on. It was a bit different. Well, we usually know him as, but yeah, that one was a good film for him. Rachel Weisz, I haven't seen her in many films, to be honest. Like, the only ones I have seen her on was the first Mummy movie, the second one, and also Constantine, the one with Keanu Reeves. And speaking of Keanu Reeves, he is going to reprise his role as John Wick, but it's going to be in a video game. Yep, surprise. They are going to make a video game of the John Wick franchise. Can you believe that? That is so freaking awesome, dude. That's awesome news. Now, I don't know when it's actually gonna come out, but dude, the trailer and also the gameplay, it looks so nice. That was like a huge surprise. Like, I really thought we won't ever get a John Wick video game. Well, we are. That is so dope. That is awesome news. Like, I really do enjoy watching those movies, the John Wick movies. I had no idea that they were gonna make a fourth film. I thought they were just gonna end it with 3 movies, but they kept on continuing with this franchise. And I believe there was and also a Peacock TV show, but I did not really see it though. But now they're making a video game out of this. That's so freaking dope. That's so freaking awesome. It kind of almost reminds me of Hitman in a way, but it probably might be similar to the Max Payne 3 video game. If you guys ever played that game, I played some of it, and I think the gameplay is gonna be just like that. Yeah, that's awesome. Keanu Reeves is pricing this role as John Wick. That's great news, man. That's very awesome news that we probably might not have heard of, to be honest. Him coming back for John Wick on a video game format. That's awesome, dude. And now speaking of video games, I'd just like to speak to you about a singer. Yes, she is a singer, and she loves to play video games. She called that Fortnite. You probably might have heard of her before, and her name is Madison Beer. Yes, the lovely Miss Madison Beer. Well, she mentioned that she did not like how Fortnite is like has changed a lot, and she just prefer having like the old school type of game, like how it used to be. And she also included that she wanted her own skin. Like she mentioned this on the First We Feast episode from the Hot Ones. She mentioned that to the world, and Fortnite actually responded to her, which is funny. They said that on season 2 they're gonna have some new things for the OGs, like the ones that really love how the old school game used to be. They're gonna have some new things for that. And that's cool that she's a gamer. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I just wanted to mention that because I haven't really seen much of her, but that's cool that she's a gamer, and yeah, she's, kind of cute. Whatever. It's Valentine's. So I just wanted to sneak something in, like, Valentine's Day related. Yeah, I'm recording this on Valentine's Day. But for you guys, you're all going to hear it on Tuesday if you always like hear on the actual day that I actually post. So yeah, Tuesdays at 11 a.m. is always the time when I post my podcasts. So that was cool news to hear about from Madison Beer. And another thing about video games, this is gonna be a movie from the Dead by Daylight game. It says right here, the Dead by Daylight movie is moving forward at Blumhouse. David Leslie Johnston, McGoldrick, The Conjuring 2, the guy who created that, and Alexander Yeha, the guy who created Crawl, are writing the script. Now, I have never really played the Dead by Daylight video game, but I just know that there's a lot of cameos that come out on that game. Like Chucky, Freddy Krueger, Jason, The Conjuring. Yeah, lots of horror characters come out on that game. And now they are going to try to make it as a movie. Maybe it could be a good thing. Like, have you guys ever seen the movie called Until Dawn? If you guys have played the game, it is way different than the actual video game, the movie. But the movie turned out to be very good. And maybe this could surprise us as well. The Dead by Daylight movie, maybe it could surprise us. It could be a bit different how it is for the video game, But yeah, it could be a good one. Not really seen how it could go wrong, to be honest. But yeah, that's awesome that Dead by Daylight, they are going to make a movie out of it. And a new film adaptation of Stephen King's The Mist is in the works at Warner Brothers. Mike Flanagan is set to direct. I heard the name before, but Mike Flanagan, I don't know what movies has he directed. It sounds like a similar, it sounds like a familiar name, but I don't know what movies he has created. Now, the Mist movie, I've never really seen it before, and but like the ratings for that movie, they're like very low on Rotten Tomatoes. Lots of people didn't really like it, and yeah, the critics didn't as well. But they are remaking this. Yeah, a new film adaptation is in the works. So yeah, I believe it is a remake of that. So it could be good. And also the GOAT movie, the one that Steph Curry produced, the basketball player, if you guys don't know, it has debuted at an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know how much money this movie has made, but it has gotten great reviews so far. Let me see right now. The GOAT movie, the ratings as of right now, okay, it's at 79% on Rotten Tomatoes as the day of the 14th. But look at the audience score. The audience score for this film is at 94%. Lots of people love this movie. And I saw like rumors online. Well, actually, not rumors, just comments of people stating that this could be like the next Space Jam, but like for this generation of kids. That's awesome. If you guys have never seen Space Jam, the original 91, the one with Michael Jordan, I do recommend it to go see that film, okay? And if you do have kids, let them see that movie first before you actually let them see Space Jam 2, okay? Because they will love the 90s one with Michael Jordan. But the LeBron James one, it's a hit or miss, to be honest. It wasn't my favorite one. Like, the Space Jam 90s one, that's the best one in my opinion. But I still haven't seen that movie, GOAT. I was actually planning to go see it, but I just haven't had the time, you know. Maybe I could sometime in the near future. But we'll see, man. We'll see if I do have the time. It does look like an awesome movie. They are the creators who created the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movies. Like the first two movies is the same creators. And yeah, that type of animation, it is pretty awesome. It's awesome how they create those type of animations. And yeah, I probably might actually check this one out because since I do like basketball and the type of animation that they use, yeah, I probably might give it a watch, to be honest. Hopefully when I go there isn't that many kids because so there will be too much excitement. Too many kids like being loud. Maybe I should go like around 9 or 10 at nighttime. That's probably a good time, to be honest. You're not during the daytime. Or maybe earlier. Maybe I should go like 10 in the morning. No, I believe that's too early. 11. I think that's the best time. 11 or 12 on a random day. Probably like on one of my days off, to be honest. I believe that's a good time frame, you know. And one more thing, guys. One more thing I would like to speak to you about. Have you guys ever played the original God of War games? They are making a remake for the first 3 games of this franchise. That is awesome news. That is so epic. That is so cool that they are going to remake these 3 games. Dude, I have played the original games since probably since like the early 2010s. Yeah, dude, that is so awesome that these 3 games are getting a remake. We don't know when they are gonna come out, but they did announce it, and it is gonna come out maybe like in 2030 We don't know. To be honest, we don't know the actual date these games are gonna come out. I don't know if they are gonna come out in one package or they're all gonna come in different dates. We don't know about that, but we just know that they are working on it and it's in early development. That is awesome news, dude. That is one of the greatest news have heard, to be honest, for anything in gaming because I do like those games. And now that they're getting a remake, damn, that is so awesome, dude. Kratos never dies. And yeah, guys, that is it for this podcast. Hey, thank you so much for listening. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to follow this podcast on whichever platform you are listening to it. If you are listening to it on Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, make sure to follow it. And also recommend this podcast to a friend or a neighbor that actually likes listening to stuff about gaming or anything pop culture related. Maybe they will enjoy this podcast as much as you do. And yeah, guys, that is it. Take care and live to the fullest. Bye.